Hi, I'm Dick Wagner. Welcome to the Crest Network. This video is really for the owners and the GMs, at least those tasked and have the responsibility of teaching and training your sales reps and your marketers. The very first thing that I want to talk about is you as a GM or as the owner, or toward the end of this slideshow, we talk about hiring a coach, but someone must take the responsibility to do assessments with your sales staff. You need to be checking their knowledge, giving them simple tests to verify that they know what the company mission statement is, that they know what your key products are, they know how to describe those key services. They need to know exactly what they should say and what they shouldn't say. That would include memorized elevator speech. That would include you as an owner or a GM doing a ride along where you first thing in the morning say to them, hey, I'm going to ride with you today. That tells you, do they know where they're going? Do they know who they're going to see? Do they know what they're going to leave behind? Hopefully Maven articles. Do they know what their valid, legitimate reason is for visiting each and every one of them? If they don't have that information locked down solid, they're not doing their job, which means you're not doing your job because you're not doing an assessment. There should be active engagement with the coaching process, whether again it's you or the GM, owner, whatever. There needs to be some role playing. You play the role of the insurance agent or the plumber, and they play the role of the marketing rep, and they show you exactly what they say when they walk in the door of that insurance agent's office. And if it doesn't feel right to you, if it doesn't seem right, if what they're saying is wrong, what a perfect place to catch it and correct it in a safe role-playing environment in your office, rather than turning them loose, throwing them in the deep end out in the world. They need to be taught the right tactics, the right strategies. They need to be taught what to say, what not to say. So many times, the coaching process, it does a great job teaching them some little tricks and things to say. Too many coaches out there, these self-professed gurus, don't bother to tell the marketers what they should not say, what can kill the sale really fast. And then probably the single number one thing that I have learned over the years about sales and marketing people is we hate rejection. We all hate rejection. It's a human nature. It's an instinct. Nobody likes rejection. Not you, not me. And so sales and marketing people don't ask for the next appointment. Don't ask if they have a job, if the client has a job for them. They don't ask to schedule the next visit. They don't ask for the next step in the process. They don't ask. Why? Because they're afraid of the rejection. Please teach your marketers how to, if they're going to always be afraid of rejection, they need to go away. They need to go find another safer job. but you can at least teach them and coach them how to deal with rejection. That's important. It's important that you evaluate data. Data, big data, little data, tracking and reviewing the number of sales leads that come in, tracking and reviewing the number of referrals that come in, identifying of those referrals how many sales are actually closed, how many jobs you actually got, tracking what the total job dollar volume is at the end of the month. That's really important. And then along those same lines, your marketer should be tracking, and you should be able to ask them for this information. How many prospects or potential clients do they have in that sales funnel? How many people are they calling on that are likely going to do business with you at some point? If they tell you 5, you're in trouble because they need 100. If they're calling, if you have initially 200 insurance agents on a route, at the bare minimum, only about 40 of those maximum, probably more like 20, will ever materialize into actual clients that refer jobs to you. So that's being very generous. 20 out of 100, 20% is being very generous. So that means you better have other prospects in the funnel. That means you better have some maybe carpet cleaners in the funnel that can refer jobs to you. Carpet cleaners that don't extract water in large losses. General contractors that run into fire damage work from time to time. Environmental specialists, industrial hygienists as an example. You should have some of them in your funnel. Plumbers, insurance agents. I recently was talking to a new marketer who was just so excited that there were 400 insurance agents on his list. And I asked him if all 400 were P&C agents. And there was a blank look. Didn't know how to answer that. Finally got brave enough to say, what's a P&C agent? And I had to explain to him that that's a property and casualty agent. And he says, oh, I have a whole bunch of life insurance agents. That's all they sell is life insurance and financial products. Well, once he reviewed that list and cleaned it up, it dropped down to about 240. Yeah. They need to have the right prospects in the funnel. You need to be able to get into the buyer's shoes. You need to walk in their shoes. You need to understand their pains. You need to speak their language. You need to understand their industry. What do I mean by understand their industry? Well, you're calling on plumbers, right? Do you, as the marketer, know what a Stilson wrench is? That's a Stilson wrench. If you don't know what a Stilson wrench is, how in heaven's name can you call on plumbers effectively? You have to understand their industry. If you're calling on insurance agents and you don't know the challenges and the issues that they're struggling with to maintain or to have client retention or to minimize their loss ratios, you're missing the boat. And you've got to learn and understand and know how to have empathy. That's true empathy, is putting yourself in the shoes of the prospect. You better know the industry trends. You better know the industry news. Not your news, not news about fire, water, smoke, and mold, although it's nice to know that. You need to know industry trends for the industries that you're calling on. You're calling on agents, calling on plumbers, you need to know. Calling on hotels and nursing homes for a pre-disaster plan, you better know what those trends are, what's happening. Does that hotel chain require face masks within the building? Yeah, this is a dated, certainly a dated video in the sense that we're in the middle of the COVID world. But you need to know that information. You need to know what the latest tools and techniques are that not your industry, but the industry you're calling on, what they're using, what they're dealing with, what they're trying to learn and understand new. You ought to know statistics and facts. You ought to know how many hotels are coming online or closing up at this particular time. You need to know the average occupancy rate nationwide. What is the average occupancy rate of a hotel nationwide? By the way, it's 67% as of the end of 2019. You also should be training for millennials. The bulk of your training should be headed toward and geared toward millennials. Why? Because of the very first line it says on that screen. In just 5 years, the workforce will have 75% made up of millennials. 75%. 3 out of 4 people in the workforce will be millennials by the year 2025. And you know what? They want to learn by watching videos. And I don't mean 2-hour videos, I mean 10-minute videos. They want bite-sized learning. They're not going to sit down and read a 30-page white paper. Yeah, you can get them with the right coaxing. You can get them to read a 1-page paper. You can get them to read a 2-page paper, but that's about it. One of the biggest successes of the Crest Network is the dozens upon dozens upon dozens of short training videos that we have on the website. Log in with your username and password and then start clicking on videos. There are every conceivable sales and marketing topic, production topic, administration training, financial advice, and they're all done in like, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12-minute segments, because that's what millennials will watch. The other thing that it does, when you provide the content and the learning in a format that millennials like and want, it will dramatically improve employee retention. We often are involved in interviewing prospects for sales and marketing. My co-founder and business partner, Bill Giannone, is often involved in interviewing for administrative and office staff. Scott Tarpley is really good at knowing whether production staff or prospects for the production staff are the right people. So the pre-boarding process, and that's before the actual onboarding process, once we've selected or narrowed down the hire, now we put video training on them. We get them to watch videos before they start the job. We provide them with specific white papers, 1 and 2 page, maybe 3 page white papers on very specific topics. We provide some advanced coaching to kind of get them in the swing, in the role of understanding what's going to be expected of them. We talk about the reporting, the documentation, being held accountable. We talk about what the company culture is from your perspective as an owner or a GM. We talk about what the mission statement is. This is all stuff that should be done before the day they actually start. And I really encourage you, and no question about it, I am biased. You already know I'm opinionated, but I'm extremely biased because we provide really relevant, valuable, useful coaching from admin, financial, sales and marketing, production advice. And we know that there are a number of great trainers and advisors and coaches in the marketplace. We also know there are a whole slew of self-professed, obnoxious, overbearing coaches who are just dumping and spewing stuff that they've been spewing for 25 years. And it's old and it's tired and it doesn't work in 2020 or 2022 or 2025. It doesn't work. Ditch those kinds of advisors. They haven't caught up to the new millennium yet. Coaching, when done right, can help quickly solve the hiccups and the glitches and the difficulties that sales and marketers especially come across. It quickly addresses roadblocks. It also, coaching enables the coach to hold them accountable. I've learned over the years that owners and managers rarely are effective at holding their marketers accountable. They start to really like the marketer and they become forgiving and tolerant, and they overlook all of the reasons why they're not being held accountable. And believe me, if you allow it, sales and marketing people will take the whole road and give you an incredible number of excuses why they can't or should not be held accountable. Also, coaching is about reassuring and encouraging. Because this just happened just before I recorded this video, this is fresh on my mind. But I just took a phone call from a marketer who I've worked with for 2 or 3 or 4 months. And one of the things that I have just beat the bushes about is explaining and teaching and coaching this marketer when they're calling on an insurance agent, they better make it about the insurance agency. The reason for that visit, the reason that this company exists, the restoration company, the reason they exist is to help the agent be a hero for their policyholder. And I just took a call 15 minutes ago from a marketer who was almost crying, but crying tears of joy because she had just left an insurance agency after talking 2 different visits about why their company, why the restoration company was in business. It was in business to help their policyholders or help the agent's policyholders. And as she's ready to leave, the marketer was told by the principal agent, we're going to have every one of our agents in our office only refer your restoration company. She actually brought several of the agents within the office out into the front area and introduced them to this marketer and told them in front of the marketer, you're going to use this company from now on for every single restoration job that comes in. We are no longer using XYZ franchisee company. That's huge. She was almost bawling. She was so excited. She says, I just can't believe, but I do now believe what you've been telling me. So, quickly recap. Please, this is really focused on sales and marketing, provide testing, provide assessment, make sure they know an elevator speech, involve them in role playing, teach them what to say, evaluate and utilize the good data that I hope you're collecting. Learn and teach your marketers how to understand and address the pains of your prospects. Have your marketers know what's happening within the industries that they're calling on. Make sure that your training and your coaching is focused on millennials, because millennials are going to comprise 3/4 of the workforce in just 3 or 4 more years. Have a pre-boarding process. Hopefully you have an onboarding process. I recommend, especially for sales and marketing people, that you also employ a pre-boarding process. And then please, please, please hire the correct coach for the job. I'm Dick Wagner. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been valuable, useful, and helpful to you. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.